Today's podcast is supported by David Smith of Edward Jones. Are you happy with your financial strategy? Or maybe like to see what other opportunities are out there? Well, give David a call at 469-372-1587. That's 469-372-1587. David is only concerned about one person, that's you and your financial health. So check him out, David Smith, Edward Jones, 469-372-1587. Hey everybody, it's the Trout. Hope you're having a great day. You know, I've liked the blues ever since I've heard the Rolling Stones perform on one of their first albums. Really got into it a lot, enjoy listening and also performing the blues. And I also studied a lot about how the history of the blues came about. You know, in America, we have blues from Chicago, we got the Texas blues, we got the Delta blues. You ever heard of the Irish blues? Well, today's guest is an Irish blues singer. In fact, I looked up on Google and I said, Google, name me Irish blues singers. Well, Roy Gallagher comes up first. But down on that list is the lady that I got to interview. Her name is Grainne Duffy. She's very well known in Ireland and in Europe, and she's finally coming to America to start performing here this spring at some great concerts. She sat down with me, talked about her career, and she even has a PhD in music. There you go, about the blues. So she knows all about them. She has a great voice, and she's a great singer and a wonderful songwriter. So sit back and enjoy this episode of The Trout Show, where I interview an Irish blues singer. So up next, an Irish blues singer that's going to hit the shores of America soon with her great songwriting, her musicality, and playing the blues. That's next on The Trout Show. Tell me a little about where you've been and where do you want to go?
Well, I have been lucky enough to tour a lot in Europe and outside Europe. Like we've been to Australia, the North Pole, would you believe? India, we've been to Asia. Like we got lots and lots of great touring opportunities. And I think a dream of mine, though, has always been to go to America. But I think it's important to get the timing right. So before now, I suppose timing just wasn't right for us. And we got a great opportunity this summer to record in America. And we worked with a brilliant American guitar player called Mark Ford, who was in the Black Crowes. And so he's playing on record, and he's going to be coming out and joining us for the shows that we're going to be doing in America in April. So that's going to be really cool. But basically where we wanted to go was I suppose COVID was a bit of a changing period for us. So obviously gigs stopped. The lull might have been COVID. And I also did a PhD in the blues. So I spent about 5 years studying blues, and I've now got a PhD in blues musicology.
Really?
So that was a big thing. Yes, I did do that. Yeah. So that was a big thing for me to do, is about women. Like I went from Rosetta Tharpe to Bonnie Raitt, looking at the history of the blues singers and why the blues female style, guitar style, and things like that. But so that I really, though, musically We've been playing a lot of the blues festivals in Europe, and we've been on lots of bills alongside American artists like Sugar Rayford, or playing alongside Shamika Copeland, and
Mm.
the Supersonic Blues Machine, and things like I did a gig with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top in Mahindra, India, and so we've had really nice opportunities to play. But I think now is just the right time for us to kind of go to a new territory, because we had this new album and we wanted to work with some American producers. We did previously work with an American producer called Justin Stanley, who is married to a vocalist called Nika Costa. And like, that was a lovely experience, and we worked with Aaron Sterling, who's John Mayer's drummer, and we had a really nice time. But we just, with this record, we kind of went in more with focusing on our own style and wanting to bring it more to America, as opposed to putting more of the American influence on our music. So it was lovely, really, really nice experience. But I think at this point, last year we played Glastonbury in the UK, which is really the summit of
That's
gigs
a big gig.
or
Yeah,
festival.
that's a big gig. Yeah.
It's a big gig. And it was amazing. Like, that was really brilliant to do that. It's our second time appearing there. But I think now it's right time for us to move to a new territory.
And you know what's interesting about the blues, and I'm a blues aficionado like Billy is. Billy and I, that's the great thing about Billy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Texan. I'm a Texan. And I've never met him. I've known people that know him. But you don't have to be 20 years old to play the blues.
Mm-mm. No, exactly. And I think it was something that spoke to me as a career-long style of music. Like, not even just, I didn't consciously start out playing the blues because I went, oh, I can play this forever. It was just, actually, it was when the person who got me into blues was whenever I was really into Fleetwood Mac, because I was in a band with my sisters.
Oh, that's right.
And
Peter Green. Peter Green was yeah.
Peter Green. And look, we started out, like, me and my sisters were in a band, and we were doing the later Fleetwood Mac with the Kirsty McVie and Stevie Nicks material. But then I obviously got this box set, and on the box set was one of the discs was all the Peter Green era. And to be honest, that just turned my head the other way. I just completely got immersed in Peter Green's material. And I was lucky enough then to start, like, looking backwards from there, started looking at obviously all the people he was influenced, like Albert King and B.B. King, and going further back. So Robert Johnson, and delving deep in there. But, like, to be honest, I was also lucky because there's a really good blues festival in my hometown, and it's called the Harvest Time Blues Festival, and Peter Green actually played at it. Now, I was 13 at the time, so and it really was a hotbed for, like, if you think about Ireland, like, there was Eric Bell from Thin Lizzy, such a brilliant blues style player. We've had Gary Moore, we've had Rory Gallagher. We have had a history of really great blues inspired players,
Yes,
so
you have.
I obviously grew up listening to a lot of that type of music.
What was intriguing to you about the blues? I mean, I want to tell you something that's interesting about it. I had this conversation with another great musician the other day that I interviewed, and we were talking about how we got influenced by the blues. And I said, I really got influenced by the blues by the Rolling Stones, because I'm that old. When they brought out their first album, they had a Howlin' Wolf song on there. And I go, I kind of like this. And then I started getting into it more. Of course, back then, B.B. King was just coming out. He was really popular, and really, really got interested. And of course, in America, we have Chicago blues, and we have Texas blues, and we have, the different areas where they're blues. But the problem is, when you play gigs in America, I think it's a lot of places here, you really got to go play the festivals and stuff like that, because people don't want to go and listen to 3 hours of blues playing. It's a certain group of people. It's a niche thing. I'm really impressed by the fact that you've really got it into it, because all the blues was started in America. That's where they kind of it all starts.
No, I totally resonate with what you're saying about the Stones, because, to be honest, obviously for me, I was closer to the British style of blues playing because I grew up in Ireland. So that was a natural first base, if you like. But to be honest, the Rolling Stones really were one of the big influences on me, because it was Mick Jagger's style of singing, which I loved. I really got into that. But Keith Richards, even is very accessible, because his riffs were never overcomplicated, but his his rhythm style was really, there was something very like blues based in his rhythm style, and that really did influence me. But I think like what you're saying about younger people coming in, that has to happen, and that is the best thing when you hear of younger blues players coming along. Like we were really lucky that we got playing with Elijah Ford and JJ Johnson on this record, who are Gary Clark's backing band. So
Yeah, Gary
Gary
Clark
Clark
is
Jr.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Brilliant. And it's brilliant to see somebody. And I think what's important is he's also bringing his other influences in, like maybe like some more of a rock influence, some more of a hip hop influence. I think all of those things have to come true to keep the style alive. So as you said, people don't want to maybe watch 3 hours straight. In the old days, like somebody, Steve Ray Vaughan, could do 3 hours straight of shuffles and swings, and he was so good at it. But
Yes.
I think now you have to, that's what's great about, that's a good thing about a blues festival, because you can go and see somebody who's really strict blues, you can go to see somebody who's more rock, you can go to see somebody who's acoustic blues, and that's even interesting for us as performers to be able to be on a bill alongside quite a varied mix of what's termed as blues. Like I would consider myself more of a roots than a blues artist, as in I've got roots in my Celtic tradition of maybe a little bit of an Irish roots in there. There's also rock roots in there. There's blues roots. So it's a bit of like an American sound as well. So it's just all kind of, if you're into a roots style of music, I suppose you could say you're a fan of what I do. But I think taking all of that into blues is important now to keep it alive, keep it healthy, keep it fresh. Like even I see Billy Strings is doing some great things in America, in that he's doing bluegrass, but he's also crossing over and playing other styles. So he's helping to keep bluegrass alive as well. We're coming over in April, and we're only doing 4 shows. We're going to be in Nashville, we're going to be in Mobile, Birmingham, and we're doing part of the New Orleans Jazz Fest. We're playing Chihuahua in New Orleans.
You'll love the New Orleans
and
Jazz
we're doing
Fest.
it probably. Yeah, we can't wait for that. We're probably going to do it with 2 guests, like an artist from New Orleans called Papa Mali, and we're going to, Mark Ford is obviously going to be on the bill as well. So we'll hopefully have a nice show there. But I'm really looking forward to experiencing the Heritage Fest.
You're going to have a great time. I can tell you that. Yeah, you're going to be in the South. You're only going to be in the South. You got Nashville, which is country, but that's great. It's a great music city. And then you're heading out. It's all going to be in the South, and you're going to like just the people down South are completely different than a different part of the country. I live in Texas, so we're part of the South too.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a great time.
Brilliant. I love Texas. I was in Texas already. I've never played in Texas, but we went to Texas once to experience the music culture in Austin, and we had the best time. The Broken Spoke and the Continental Club, it was amazing.
Well, and coming up is South by Southwest, and usually when I interview people,
that's right.
they all want to know, can you help me get into South by? No, it's all. I've interviewed like 3 different people. Can you help me get in? Since I'm in Texas and I know people. Did you say you're recording here while you're here too? Are you going to do some recording?
No, we have finished a record in America. Okay. We did it in the summer in August. So it's due for release, but it's been released on an American label. It's called, it's going to be coming out in late April. So it is. And you'll see it on all my socials anyway. So Blue Heart Records.
Okay. And how did you discover, did the management of the the team that you're using with, that they're helping you in America, did they find you, or did you find them, the people that are supporting you and getting you the gigs?
I think actually it started out by us actually going to record the record, and through recording the record, the producer of the record was connected with a few people, and he just sent out a few of the tracks, and it all kind of went from there. And also my management from here, from my management team, were in touch with some people, and it just all kind of came together really organically. Thank God for music. It can be a fun game. You can be trying for years and years and years. My dream has always been to play in America, and then this summer it all just kind of came together out of the blue.
Well, it's your time.
I recorded my previous record, which is called Voodoo Blues. I was just finishing it with an English production team. I was working with a guy called Troy Miller, who did Amy Winehouse's records with her, and he was in her band, her touring band, and Dale Davis, who was her MD. We were doing a record over there together, and then like COVID came and we were halfway through, and so we had to find a way of finishing it with us in Ireland and them in England, and luckily we had the backing tracks done. So then I had to just record the vocal from here. And we was 2 more tracks left to do. But we found a way to make it work, and it worked. And it was pretty incredible that we made it work. But it taught us a lesson that if you really have to, you can make it happen.
Well, yeah, that's true. How many's in the band?
Usually a 4-piece, but we'll probably be a 5-piece in America because Mark Ford will be with us on guitar. But usually it's a 4-piece. We used to travel with the piano player as well, but it kind of was changing the sound a little to being like a little bit more, there wasn't as much space. It's a little bit more dangerous when it's just a 4-piece. And then whenever you put in the piano, it brings an extra layer. So sometimes we like being on the edge with a 4-piece, and sometimes we like being a little bit more sophisticated with a 5-piece.
Or you could go 3-piece like Billy does with ZZ Top. So there you go, And
that's the next step.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing your. I know I looked at your socials and I saw that you'd done Voodoo Blues, and then you had this thing you got coming out, which I'm looking forward to that because, I think the thing for me is I love the blues, but I like to see people succeed. And if there's a new player like yourself coming on the scene, you're not new, but you're new here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm new to America, but I've definitely got my training wheels off in Europe.
Oh yeah, you've played everywhere. I mean, I forgot that you played with Billy Gibbons. You played with there's a couple other people. You were talking about Gary Clark's people and all that stuff. And I think Gary may be I think Gary's another Texan. I think he's from Texas too. A lot of Texas musicians out there, but. And I think you're going to do well. I think your style, is great. You have a great voice. I said that earlier. And I just think I assume that majority of what you're going to do originals.
Yes, I do nearly all originals. I only do about 2 covers. If you came to see me, I'd probably just do like about 2 covers of Bonnie Raitt's song and maybe an Etta James song. But, I've been taking them out more and more often. And like, I really hope people like the new record, respond to the new record, because it's really something I'm really excited about because we put so much into it. And I think it's a record that will appeal to people who also like jam bands in America. And, we're watching what's going on over there. I don't know if you're into this guy, Goose. Are you into him?
Who? What's the name again?
Goose.
I don't know that.
The name of the band is actually Goose. He plays a lot with, the Grateful Dead. He's kind of playing in that kind of circle, and he's like a new jam band. So we've been watching that scene, what's been happening over there, and I love like other bands like Alabama Shakes and the Black Keys and all that kind of stuff, and anything that's got a rootsy, energetic side to it, but I think this record should appeal to blues lovers, rock kind of fans, people who are into maybe I think just across the board, there's some tracks in the record that are a little bit more soul, and I just I'm looking forward to seeing how people receive it.
Well, as well as I do, the best thing anybody, and I tell people that are not performers, the best thing that you can have is doing your own song, and people love your music when you're performing, and it's your own music. It doesn't get any better than that.
It's amazing. No, it's an amazing feeling. It's like you nearly have to pinch yourself to go like, oh, I'm so lucky to be doing this. So yeah, it really is a beautiful experience when it comes together. And then there's some nights where you don't know if people like it at all. And that's tough. That's that's hard work.
Yeah, but you know what? If you won't have that problem. You're only doing 4 cities. You won't have that problem because you're playing at some great festival. I mean, the New Orleans Blues and Jazz Festival is huge. I mean, there's a lot of players that play over there. Tell me, all right. So tell me what Bonnie Raitt song you play. What's the cover you play by Bonnie Raitt?
Well, it's actually Chris Smither, the song she does for years, "They Love Me Like a Man." I love the live version she did, and
It's a great
I love
tune.
the guitar work on that, like more the acoustic one. Like I remember hearing that and thinking, what? She's playing all that lead on an acoustic guitar. It was ridiculous. But that's the song we do. And like I mean, there's tons of Bonnie songs I'd love to do, but it just kind of fit into the set better than other songs.
That's a great tune to do. I can see that fitting in. And then, of course, she's such a great slide player. That's another thing that helps.
Oh, oh yeah, she's
So-
incredible. My slide playing is very risky, dodgy. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd make too many people endure my slide playing.
Well, it's a learned skill. I still play. I do play slide, but I'm not as good. I like playing it occasionally, but I can rip off a riff on my guitar anytime I want to. So it's easier for me to just say, hey,
Great.
we're going to do a blues riff in a key of A or B. I don't really care, And I wish I was as
Hmm.
good as Bonnie was on slide. And Billy Gibbons is good on
Hmm.
slide. He was a great slide player. Something that you don't hear Billy
Yeah.
doing much. He doesn't do anymore. He's a great harmonica player.
No, you don't. Yeah, I think that guy like he really is the real deal because you see him and he just makes it look so effortless,
Yeah.
and he just takes it in his stride and makes it effortless. And like what he does is not effortless. And whenever you go to the back to the ZZ Top records, there's so much blues in there. Like how could he, he really, and the way that they managed to refine the sound and make it more crossover and so popular, like they knew really conscientiously knew what they were doing. So, they're really together clever guys, and they've got their heads screwed on, but great musicians, brilliant songwriters and great musicians.
And playing a long time. And
You said it.
well, I'm going to tell you something, and I have this knack. I know when people are going to be very popular. So I'm going to tell you the same thing I told the other band. Have you been practicing signing autographs?
Yeah. I probably have done my fair share, but I used to be big into asking people their name, and then whenever I started traveling to Scandinavia a lot, I could never spell their name. So whenever I go to America, it's
No.
simply going to be my signature and no other name, because I that was a lesson I learned fast. Just sign and don't be asking too many
Don't.
questions.
No. Who do you want me to make it out to? No, I'm not going to do that. No.
But I'm a Kithogue in Ireland. We call ourselves Kithogue, so I'm a left-hander. So what happens?
Ah.
People give me their pens, and then they're always like wet pens, and then I smudge my whole signature because my hand goes after the signature because I'm a Kithogue. I'm a left-hander, so it'll be dry ink pens for me.
Get your Sharpies. Just get your Sharpies. That's all
Yeah.
you need. That's just what I sign, Sharpies, and you're good to go. And just get used to it because people are going to ask you, and I always have a very simple philosophy when I meet famous people. I don't bother them. That's number one. I don't bother them unless I know who they, and if I do, it's like a few years ago I had the opportunity to go see Jeff Beck, who was one of my favorite players,
Wow. Hmm.
and I'd won the trip. I'm not going to go into board, but anyway, he signed something for me, and I wanted to meet him,
Wow.
and the label said, that ain't happening. I said, but people say to me, what would you say to him? I said, I would just say, I've enjoyed your music for the last 50 years. I mean, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to Billy? What else are you going to say to people like that? I mean, because you don't want to come into fanboy or fangoy, because then they won't talk to you.
And look, the biggest compliment you can give them is telling them that you love their music anyway. So
that's right. I mean,
that's all they think they've made your life better through their music. That's the most fulfilling thing they've done in their life. So,
hasn't that happened to you already? Hasn't that happened to you?
Well, I've had people tell me they love my music, they enjoy the music and things like that. That's lovely, and that's what you want to hear. And sometimes people come up and because I do a version of Etta James' "Rather Go Blind," they're like, "Oh, I was crying. Did you see me crying?" And I'm like, "That's not what I want. I don't want you crying." But it's nice to know they felt stirred and very emotional. But I don't want to look out and see the whole crowd crying.
No. Well, you do, but you don't. I understand. You just kind of like,
Yeah.
it'd be cool if they were all out there weeping and you're like, oh my God, okay, now we got to put something more funny and, okay, let's kick it up, guys. It's, we made them cry now. So it's,
No, I know, I get it, and I understand. It's good to stir up those kind of basic emotions, but yeah, I do like that. I do like that there is an energy. I suppose our set kind of has a crescendo, like a rise and a fall. Like I kind of bring it up to that point, that high emotional point, and then I'll obviously release and have fun towards the end. Just like I suppose is standard for a show. Sure, if you went to see the Stones, there'd be highs and lows and peaks and whatnot.
you just want them to want more when you walk off stage. That's really all you want. And so you got to end up with something killer stuff. And sometimes you don't know if it's, if you got the right set, people will love it. And if you play it enough, you'll know, okay, they're going to like this. They're going to like my set already. So let's go back. You're coming over in April, right?
Yeah.
And how long are you going to be in America?
I think we're only going to be in for a week for now, because we're planning 3 or 4 trips this year. So this one's only a week long. Okay.
So all the dates that you're playing, is that 1 week, or are you coming back to do like Mobile and all those, or is that all in 1 week?
So they're all in 1 week, and we're going to come back and do maybe Chicago, and then do like New York area, and then we'll probably do the East Coast another time, or West Coast. Sorry,
Dallas, Texas. We'll
try and get there somehow.
Big city, big times. Anyway, well, the great thing about it is, I think you're going to do fine. You already have a lot of success. And you're just going to build on it coming to America. People want to go to Europe, so it's funny. We as the old saying is, you're never a prophet in your own land.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to leave, Ireland to come to America, and everybody go, oh my God, she's great, and you must be big over in and people go, not as big as I wish.
And I find that I always find, like, you see people being interviewed and it's like, oh, and look, you've had all this success and you've come out of nowhere. And the honest ones usually say, actually, I was here all the time, but nobody was passing any remarks to me until I went and did that. And then I came back, so, I mean, it is strange. I do think there is a bit of that. You're not a prophet in your own town until you go and, prove yourself elsewhere. Like, for example, Colin Farrell, who's obviously doing really well for himself at the moment. He's up for like an Oscar. He got such a hard time in Ireland as an actor, couldn't get parts, kind of was poked at, and the Irish press seemed to give him a hard time. And now that he's having this great success in America, he's like he's Ireland's darling again, So I think you just have to go through that rite of passage, Thank you, Rick, and you keep well, and thank you very much for having me, and thank you for enjoying my music.
All right, my pleasure. Have a good evening. We'll see you. Well, that's it for this episode of The Trout Show. Thanks so much for listening. You can also find this on our YouTube channel, which is The Trout Show. Special thanks to our guest, Grainne Duffy, for coming on and talking about her wonderful blues music. For more information about Grainne, visit her website at grainneduffy.com. That's Grianne Duffy, Duffy. It's Celtic, folks, for the word love. And you know me, I'm The Trout, and for more information about The Trout Show, just visit our website at thetroutshow.com. Until next time, remember, people, it's only rock and roll, but we love it. See ya. Don't you